What's up, guys? Jason Guyman here, and tonight I want to talk about how to get more business for your service business. And so tonight, I know I'm just getting on here and I'm kind of just literally got home, so I was thinking about this all day of what am I going to speak about and what can I do to help people grow their business. And the reason why I wanted to do this one here tonight is because I feel like either for pressure washing, Christmas lights, but mostly for pressure washing right now. But I believe that when Christmas light comes around, I feel like you're going to have the same issues. So one of the things I want to hit on is how do we get more customers and how do we get to keep repeating our customer? And one of the things that I've been reading this book, and it's a great book. I highly recommend this book to you if you haven't got this book yet. I recommend this 100% to you. And the reason why I recommend this book to you, and I believe that this is going to be bigger and bigger, is because one of the things that I've seen people do is I've had a couple calls this week. I had DJ a couple weeks ago, and he was like, Jason, the phone's not ringing, and the customers aren't taking orders. They're not buying pressure washing. And so I just told him, I was like, you need to just keep moving. And I'll talk a little bit more about that tonight, and I'll talk about what you can do. And now his calendar is getting booked up, and I'll talk about what you can do too. So whether if you're pressure washing, this will go for Christmas lights too. So whichever one that you're wanting to do, or any service business. So that's what my plan is here tonight. I don't know if anybody's leaving. Thank you for the knowledge. Appreciate it. But that is what I want to really hit on tonight is how to get business in 2025. Because with things that are changing, things are changing. You know, right out of the get-go, out of this book, he talks about the zero-click Google, right? He talks about it real quick here about the second right here, why I experience this problem. Right here within the first 4 pages, he's talking about 0 clicks from Google. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that you understand how you can get more business and more stuff for you. So this weekend has been a very busy weekend. I've been to Indianapolis. I've been to Louisville. My daughter is, they just won their regional. They go to regionals. So they play ECNL for soccer, and we will be going to St. Louis. Not that I like St. Louis. In fact, I think St. Louis sucks. Sorry if you live in St. Louis, but this is about our 7th or 8th time we'll be in St. Louis. So if you are in St. Louis, maybe we can catch up sometime. I'll be there in a couple weeks. So that if it's something that you might want to do, I would be more than happy to meet up with some people in St. Louis. So that was my weekend. It was exciting. She just had her ACL replaced, and this is the last couple games. Her knee's been popping out, and it's been hurting, and it didn't do it and she's been only playing 3, 5, 10 minutes, getting pulled out of the game. And so this week, she actually made it all week. So that is something that is pretty awesome that she was able to make it. So we'll jump in here in the comments, and then we'll get started here. Thank you for what you do. How can we contact you directly for coaching and whatnot? So the one ways that you can do this, if you want one-on-one coaching, I got 2 different things. One is if you want to do mentorship, and that's where I actually help you through it. You can go to, it's actually, I understand if you want it for pressure washing or Christmas lights, whatever it is. I've coached people doing brush cutting, and I took his average ticket from $2,000 to $3,500. I've helped pressure washers, Christmas light businesses. I've helped a couple other businesses that have grown their business, and you can check that out at kingofpressurewash.com/mentorship. Mentorship is what it is. Also, I have my membership. That's a one-on-one. It's more of a small group. We do a meeting every Thursday, and we also have Marco Polo. And so that's how we all talk together. And it's a great group of people. I've helped Coach Jeremy, and he hit his $1 million last year. And so he's been in it for 2 years now. So these are all people that I've helped. I've helped other people get to $500,000, 750,000. So those are all the people that I've helped. And so they're in mentorship. If you don't want to do that, you can do my membership, either King of Pressure Wash or Christmas Lights. Every Monday night we have a Zoom call, and that's where we do that. That's the only time that I kind of jump on there for that. So I do a 1 hour Zoom call, but I don't remember what the link is for that. I want to do more to help you guys grow is my goal. So that is definitely my goal. So, reason why I want to talk about what I'm talking about tonight. This is what I want to say. If you stop marketing, your business is going to stop growing. You know, one of the things that I see a lot is people will get shiny syndrome. They will see other people saying they're doing this, and they're doing this, and they're doing this. And what happens is I will be like, do signs. Here's one of the things. I know some of you hate my signs, but it's one of the things that I know that's going to get you business. I can have you do ads, and I don't know if you're going to do business. I can do Facebook ads, and I don't know if it's going to do you business. I can do Google ads, and I don't know if it's going to give you business. And I can have the best people out there running them, and I don't know if that's going to guarantee you business. But I can guarantee you, if you put out 500 yard signs, you're going to get business. So, with that said, this is what I see people do a lot of times. They'll start making good money on yard signs or whatever they're doing, and then somebody will say, how about these ads over here? So then what they quit doing is quit putting out the yard signs and go put money over here. Here's the problem. If you're not marketing or you don't know that works, don't stop doing what you know works. If I know yard signs are working, here's the deal about it. Because it's not just the yard signs. Let's walk through the customer journey. If you know what the customer journey is, that's from the start, from when they look at your website, see the yard sign, to the end of the job. So let's walk through this customer journey tonight. All right, they see the yard sign. They call you. You give them a quote. You go get them the job. You do some follow-up to make sure you get the job. When you get the job, you do some more follow-up to let them know that you're coming, that they need to move everything, that the lights are going to be on the house this date. And then, before you are on the phone, you're telling them this is part of the customer journey. You're telling them, hey, Miss Jones, our goal is to make you so happy that you want to give me a 5-star review and you want to tell all of your friends. Because what we're doing is from that one yard sign, we could make $10,000 off of that one yard sign. But here's where the problem comes into place. A lot of times we stop there. We will wait all the way to the end of the job and be like, hey, bro, will you give me a 5-star yard sign? A 5-star review? And they're like, sure, we will. And that's the end of it. And then you don't get no referrals and you don't get no 5-star reviews. And so the part of the customer journey is we want to get jobs every which way we can. So let's go back here to the way a customer journey should look like. They see the yard sign. Maybe they go to the website, find out more information on the website. Maybe they just call you and find out more information there. When we're talking on the phone, we're going to do one of two things. We are going to let them know that, hey, Miss Jones, our goal is to make you so happy that you want to give us a 5-star review and tell all of your friends. So then we get to the job. Actually, before we get to the job, we're going to send some emails and text and say, hey, we're coming. And then when the technician is on the way, we're going to text them again and say, hey, we're coming. And then when the tech gets there, he's going to walk through his spiel and he's going to say, my goal today is to make you so happy that you want to give me a 5-star review and tell all of your friends. So then we go do the job, and then we get the job done. And we go do our walk around. And we say, Miss Jones, is there any reason why you wouldn't give me a 5-star review? And they're going to say, no, there's not. You did a great job. That's where we're going to pull this little card out and say, awesome. Here it is. I'll help you. Go ahead and get your phone out. And that way I can help you get me a 5-star review. And then once you get done with the 5-star review, you're going to say, awesome, Miss Jones. Will you post on your favorite social media about how awesome we did for you and how happy you are with our services? And then we're not done yet. Then we're going to go do, after we're done, and she's posted on her favorite social media, and you've done that, you're going to say, hey, do you have one friend that needs my service? I'm not going to say, do you have 5 friends? Do you know anybody? Because if you point it to one, you always have one good friend. And so now I'm going to say, awesome. Here, we got a bonus plan, whatever it might be. This is a referral plan. So I went from getting a 5-star review, which that's going to help my Google My Business, and I may not just put Google on here. I might put something else on here that I hate to say, but I would probably put Yelp on here too and see if you can get 2 5-star reviews, one on Google and one on Yelp. And yes, I hate Yelp as much as you do. But here's the thing about it. We're going to AI, and ChatGPT loves Yelp. Why do they love Yelp? Because they're owned by the same company that ChatGPT and Yelp are owned by. So guess who ChatGPT pulls from? Yelp. And here's a good thing that you can do. Start putting in who is the best pressure washer in this area. Now, there is some hacks with GPT, with ChatGPT. And some of the things you can do is start saying, hey, I think this company is better and here's why. And then you can have some other friends say, hey, I think this company is better and here's why. But here's the thing. That's why I'm telling you that Yelp reviews are important. Because if you go and Google yourself or Google who's the best pressure washer or who's the best Christmas light in your area, you're going to find out that you may not rank number 1. And you can ask it, why do I not rank number 1? And it's going to tell you if you've gotten 1 bad star review on a Yelp, it will tell you because you got 1 star bad on Yelp or you don't have no Yelp reviews. And so that's why it's so important that we just don't go after Google now. We go after Yelp. So why is review so important? Even in the AI world, Yelp or reviews are still very important. And here's why. Because it's not you saying how awesome you are. It's not how AI is saying how awesome you are. This is Joe Bob telling you how awesome you are. And that's why it's important that we not only get Google reviews, we get Yelp reviews, we can get Thumbtack reviews, we can get Facebook reviews. And when we start sending all of these signals to Google and the ChatGPT and the internet, it's going to start showing you higher and higher. And Angie's List reviews and Home Advisor's reviews. Now, I know some of you are like, are you freaking kidding me, Guyman? You telling me I need all of that? If you want to start ranking higher in AI and on Google, these are different signals that you're getting. But what I would say is pick two and go for those two. I would not put Facebook on here because the problem with Facebook is when you scan the QR code, it goes to a login screen, and most people don't remember what their login is. The other reason why I say to do 2 QR codes is because a lot of times you may think everybody has Google and they don't have Google. So that's why you want to look here and see, hey, do they have Google? And that's why I'm telling you this, so that you listen, so that way you understand what you need to do here. So that is the reason why we're doing this. So once we get done with the review, so we've asked for the review at the beginning on the phone call. We asked for the review at the end of the job or beginning of the job. We asked for the review and the referrals at the end of the job. The next thing after we're done, we're just not done. We're going to do our 5 arounds, right? We're going to take door hangers and go to the 5 neighbors. Now, if you're not busy, you can do 10 around or 20 around. And if you want to even make it a step further, do this before the job and go knock on each one of those doors. And if you're doing pressure washing, you're going to go knock and you're going to say, hey, Miss Jones over here, we're over here doing their house. We're pressure washing. I know it's going to be allowed here for a little bit. I just wanted to give you that. Here's our information if you need any services. I'm not selling hard. I'm just giving them information. I'm giving them a touch, right? It's all about how many touches. We know that it takes 11 touches to get someone to buy. So that's why we're touching them with this here. So we go do our 5 rounds. If you're not busy, you go do 10 rounds. If you're not busy, you go do 20 rounds. If you're not busy, go do the whole freaking neighborhood, right? Because if you're not focused on getting more jobs, your business isn't going to grow. Now, how can we do this with Christmas lights? Well, I don't have to go and knock on the neighbor's door and let them know that my Christmas lights are being up there. But what I can do is when I pull my truck up with Christmas lights and I crank up the Christmas light music in September and October, it's going to get people looking at me a little crazy. And when they see my guys on ladders and on the roof with Christmas hats on and excited to be there and looks like Santa's little helpers or maybe your elves, then that is going to make you stand out and people are going to start talking about you. And that's what we want. We want people talking about you so that way we can start building brand, right? We want branding. We want that. So here's the next thing. If the person is not home, we're not just going to be like, here, we're done. So send the pictures and say, hey, Miss Jones, we're finished with the job. Just some before and afters here just to see that we've gotten it done. And here's the deal. If you like our work, please give me a 5-star review. Here's the link. We want to make it as easy as possible. If it's not easy, they're not doing it. That's just the way it is. So once you get that and you send it, and maybe the next day you pick it up, the phone up, and you say, Hey, Miss Jones, I was just calling to see how everything is for you. Is everything to your standard? Is everything good? And if they say yes, awesome. Can you please give me a 5-star review? It helps my company out a lot, blah, blah, blah. Here's the other thing to get more 5-star reviews. Make a contest for your employees. Have them write those reviews with their names in those reviews. You can look at some of the big companies and you will see names of different employees in their reviews. And the reason why they do that is it makes it more personalized. Because what you can do is, and you should do this, is on your website, you should have a person about each person on there. And I'm going to take it a step further. It's actually in this book right here. It's toward the middle of the book. If you're going to have a sales guy and go do in person, you send them an email with a video of you and that person talking. Hey, I'm Jonathan. I will be your sales guy tomorrow. Here's a little bit about me. I have a daughter. She plays soccer. I have another one, does this. And I can't wait to see you and help and see what we need to do to help you be, if it's Christmas lights, have the most Merry Jerry Christmas. If it's pressure washing, I can't wait to come see and what we can do to help make your home look beautiful again. Again, when you're talking to your customer, you want to use you instead of me. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. That doesn't work very good, right? What works better is you're going to be amazed at how clean we can get this siding here for you. Not I can clean that siding for you. You're going to be amazed, and all your neighbors are going to be like, holy crap, right? Or you're going to be amazed that when your grandkids come over here, because we've already done some of the selling, when your grandkids come over here, this is what's going to happen. So that's why it's important. So this all came off of one yard sign. One yard sign is going to get me a lot of customers in the end, because it's going to get me referrals. It's going to get me the 5-arounds. It's going to get me the reviews. It's going to start showing me up in maps. And this is why just going yard signs can start your business and get you to $100,000. How do I know this? Because I've seen it over and over and over. I've helped thousands of businesses just take yard signs and make $100,000 off of it. I know some of you are going to be like, there's no way that works in my area. In my area, Jason, you just don't understand. I understand completely. What you don't understand is, what I understand is you're right. Because if you don't believe it, you'll never achieve it. And it ain't no different than raising your prices, right? Jason, you can't get $8 to $12 a foot in my area. You're right. I bet you can't. Because if you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. And I'm not just saying that. The more I learn about this, I just listened to one of Myron Goldman's. If you want to know a good person to listen to, Myron Golden. And he said, it ain't about the hard work. It's about the 6 inches between your ears. Because if you don't believe it up here, and if you don't believe Christmas lights are the most amazing thing, if you don't believe that you're the best pressure washing company in the area, your customer is going to go with the person that does believe that they're the best pressure washing company, or the best Christmas light company, or the best lawn mowing company, or whatever you do. And so that's why I want you to understand how important this is for you. So with that, let's talk a little bit more about the customer journey. So we talked about signs. This works with EDDM. You can do the same thing. Here's the thing, EDDM, every door direct mail. These are your postcards that you send out in the mail. If you're going to do those, you don't just send out one postcard and think that's going to get you business. you probably won't even get your ROI back, return on investment. You have to do it 3 to 4 times every 3 to 5 weeks. That's more of branding, right? You're going to have your logo on there. They're going to see it. They're going to see it. They're going to see it. They're going to see it, right? And so that is what branding is. Do they see your signs? Do they see this? And one of the things I would even go, this is one of the things that I would do, and I don't talk about this much. I've kind of changed the way I think about this, is I think you should have 2 different types of yard signs. I think one, you should have a yard sign at the corners. And I think the other one, you should have the yard sign that is different, that does have your logo, that does stand out, and maybe is a cartoon cutout. So it's different. And that would be put in the yards. And that is why I say that. You know, the other day in one of the groups I was in and I was watching, and they were talking about yard signs. And the person asked, where do you put these yard signs at? And the answer to that is, you put them everywhere. And one of the persons like, I think putting them on the street corners silly. This is the same person that is trying to grow a business and hasn't grown much in the last couple years. He's kind of got to a plateau. And when you tell me something is silly, I just look at it and I go, that's why you've never hit more than $750,000. That's why you're stuck there, and you're going to stay stuck there because you don't believe in what you can do. And that is the problem when you start thinking that way. So that is why don't think that way. Getting my first truck for my crew. I'm 20 years old and the commercial auto insurance is so expensive. Does anyone just soak this expense? I know it's 100% necessary, but it still hurts. I had Jeremy Main on here last week, and he went and bought an air compressor today for his dryer vent cleaning. And one of the things when he went there, the guy was like, that is so expensive for that air compressor. And in the past, he was like, I would have said the same thing. And I'm the same way. But is it worth losing everything over a little bit of expense now? This is why we charge what we charge. Because the reason why I tell you to charge 25 to 35 cents a square foot for house washing and 35 to 60 cents for roof cleaning is because you have all of these little expenses that most people don't take into account, or they don't even do it. They'll just risk it and not do it at all. And so that is why it is so important that we raise our prices and we keep doing what we need to do. When people think that, oh, you're making all this money an hour, but in the end, I would beg to differ that you're not making that much money. You might think that you're making $300 an hour, but in the end, you're probably only making $50 an hour. Some of you are only making $10 an hour, but yet you think making $100 an hour is too much. But in reality, you're only making $10 an hour. And that's the problem, because you don't know your numbers. You don't know your cost. And I'm not saying that you don't know, Will. I'm just saying people in general don't know their cost and don't know how much things cost. And that is the important part of understanding business. That is the most important part of running a business, because a lot of times it's one of those things that as you're growing your business, you don't realize all the cost. You don't realize the CRM. You don't realize the cost of your phone. You don't realize the cost of insurance, workers' comp insurance, um, umbrella insurance, payroll taxes, payroll, right? Um, Bleach, Christmas lights, all those little things start adding up. If you're doing sealer, you got sand, and you got the sealer, and you got the breakdown of when the 8 gallon a minute blows a rod out the end of the pump, and whatever else might be that problem at the end of the day. And so that's why it is so important that we understand what our cost is. So with that, I'd like to hear your all's questions. I don't see much coming up here today. I don't know if Facebook is not sending me your stuff on Facebook, but I'd love to, if you're on YouTube, throw me a couple comments here, throw me something if this is resonating with you, if you're going to take action. Because I can sit here and talk about it all day, but you have to take action. If you want this to happen, you've got to take action. You can read this book and you don't take action, you might as well not even read the book. It's all about taking action at the end of the day. The more you take action, the more your business is going to grow. And I promise you, you can get to $100,000 a year. You can get to $1 million a year. You can get to $3 million a year. You can do it just in pressure washing. You can do it just in Christmas lights. But what are you going to do to take action? Again, you can read the book, and if you just read it and don't take action, it doesn't do no good at all. So what are you going to do for your business? What are you going to do to help your business grow this year? What is your goals this year? Where do you want to be at this year? Where do you want to be at this year? Do you want to do 100,000? Do you want to do 500,000? Do you want to do 1 million? What do you want to do? I'd love to see it in the comments. What do you want to do? Let me know what you want to do in the comments. So, if you didn't know, and I am going to have a class, and actually I'm going to do this one first. I am giving away $500 for yard signs or door hangers or whatever you need printed. And so, being that I talked about signs, I would spend the $500 on yard signs. So how am I getting this yard signs? Well, you all bought from UZ Marketing, which made me win the $500. I could have kept it myself, but I didn't. I'm giving it back to you. Go to christmaslights.io/UZ, fill out the information there, and get registered to start being able to do this. So what I want you to do is I want to give it to somebody. I'm going to give it away on Father's Day, June 15th, I believe it is. It's a Sunday. I'm going to give it away on a Sunday. If you're pressure washers or Christmas lights, it doesn't matter. Go to christmaslights.io/UZ, and this is where I'm going to give it away on a Sunday night on June 15th on Father's Day. So we're going to make somebody get to that $100 or $500. It's almost 200 yard signs. You'll have to put a little bit more to it, but you'll be able to get to that 200 yard signs. So giveaway. The next thing is I have 2 classes coming up. If you want to learn and grow your business and you want to take your business to the next level, whether you're just starting or you've been at this for 2 or 3 years and you can't grow your business or you're struggling. First day will be Christmas lights. So Christmas light is on Friday. Saturday is all day marketing. And it's not just marketing. I talk about sales. I talk about all kinds of things for you to grow your business. And I've been tweaking it and I've been tweaking it. And no, I'm not tweaking, but I've been tweaking it more and more so that I'm giving you what you need to grow your business. As I've learned and as I've helped people, I understand where you all struggle at. And so this is a very hands-on class. You'll learn how to hang Christmas lights. You'll learn how to do permanent lights. But not only that, you will definitely learn how to do marketing. You'll learn about AI. I give you the latest on AI. I walk you through about an hour to 2 hours of AI because I understand a lot of service businesses, they suck at this part of it. and they might not think they're good at things, but this is definitely something that I want you to think about. So in June, we'll be in Michigan, and then in July, I'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. So those are the two. August, I don't know what my rest of my calendar is. I will have another class or two here in Cincinnati, and I may even have a pressure washing class coming up in Cincinnati also. Since I am renting a new building out, then I'll be getting a new building, and so I'm going to have a whole classroom section in there where you guys can come and learn and grow your business, because that is my goal for you to grow your business. All right, now we got some questions and stuff coming on here. Separate GMB for Christmas lights and washing. Yes, and here's why. And I would even say you need a separate website, because when we start doing too many things for Google, it starts confusing Google. So if we have pressure washing and Christmas lights, it don't know what you're trying to shoot for, because your posts are saying one thing this week and they're saying another thing this week. Your pictures are showing one thing this week, and next week they're showing something different. So we're throwing signals that Google doesn't know. And so that's why we want to do separate accounts. We want to do 2 different accounts for our Christmas lights and pressure washing. $150,000. That's a great goal. I just want to be the best version of myself. I know that if I do that, then everything else will fall in line. And here's the thing, guys. Daniel here has been to one of my in-person trainings. He's been in my membership, and he comes on every Monday night that you can hear Daniel talk. And his first year, he did $179,000 just in Christmas lights alone. And last year, he did over $500,000. There's nothing special about Daniel. Daniel's just a soccer player. He was a professional soccer player. He's a soccer coach now, coaching kids, and there's nothing special about Daniel. Now, he's a killer. He will go at it. He calls people all the time. You know, some people are like, I just want to do Christmas lights all year long, but it's only 4 months out of work, and that is where you're wrong, because right now he's calling people. He's calling 25 people a day trying to get more Christmas lights up. And so he's working now so that he can hit $1 million at the end of this year. And I do believe he's going to hit $1 million, because he's putting in the work now to be able to hit the $1 million mark in just 3 years, which is very impressive. Don't let fear of missing out keep you from making money. Fear of overthinking, procrastination, overwhelm. Yes. Or what's the other word? Analysis paralysis, right? You know, the fear of overthinking is probably 90% of people's problems. They think it has to be perfect. Perfectionist kills your business faster than anything else. You know, something half done will get more business than never putting out perfect, because that's usually what happens. Because here's the thing, something half done, you can change it and be like, well, that didn't work. But if you think you have this perfect thing, or perfect yard sign, or perfect website, or perfect whatever, and it sucks, well, it took you 3 months to get that. I know people that are like, man, Jason, I'm going to start a business. And I'll be like, awesome. When are you starting? Well, I got to get my logo first. And then a month goes by, and I'm like, get your logo yet? No, I haven't figured it out yet. I want it perfect. 2 more months go by. It's 3 months later. So you got your business up and running? No, I haven't done nothing yet. Why not? Well, I just want to make sure that my logo is perfect. Who cares about your freaking logo? Pick one and go with it. That's what I'm going to tell you about it. Just pick it. Go with it. Or I know people will pull the trigger and buy all these yard signs. And then they put them in the garage because they're too scared to go put them out. Some people are afraid of success. They're too scared of success. They're afraid of success. What if someone calls me and wants to do a big house like this? Awesome. Then go do a big house like this. Figure it out. That's what happens. Congratulations on your daughter making nationals. Time to go win it all. Hi, Jason. Do you anticipate a big price increase in Christmas lights because of the tariffs? I do not. I think they will go up a little because there is a little bit more tariff there, but I don't believe they're going to go up a bunch. I know there was a bunch of fear mongering going on about it. And so the one reason why Christmas lights might go up is because of stock issues. And here's what I mean. Because where these people been holding off and these factories have been closed, they're going to be behind on making this stuff. And so right now, if you go to christmaslights.io and just don't put the S on it, you can get probably the best pricing because people aren't doing it, right? The problem of it is there's a lot of containers that didn't get started because they shut them off. A lot of big companies that I know of did not order and waited. And so by them waiting, it could cause a price increase because there could be a shortage of Christmas lights, and that's why there could be a price increase. Is a galvanized trailer good for pressure washing? One, I think it would be heavy. Two, I mean, it shouldn't rust. It would probably be fine for you being galvanized. I did aluminum. I've done wood. Wood, if you put bleach on it enough, it will eat a hole straight through the wood. How do I know? Because I had a hole about this big where they overfill it. They kept overfilling the bleach, and the bleach would run down, and then it rotted out the wood. It just ate. It didn't even rot it out. It just ate out the wood and caused it to have a big hole there. So that's kind of what it is what it is. So that's where that is. So any other questions? I love y'all's questions. So some things I'm going to start doing. Hey, Daniel, hope you're doing well. Great meeting you at the last training. So one of the things that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start hammering on this book. And so one of my goals is to do 3 videos a week. It's not going to start this week, but my goal is to start it the following week and to do 3 videos a week for Christmas lights. I'm going to go really hard in on Christmas lights this year. And so my goal is one video will be about Christmas lights, one video will be about marketing, and the last video will be about permanent lights. Now, there might be some weeks that I do all Christmas lights. There might be a week that I do more marketing or permanent lights. So that is my goal for this year, and I'm going to have it up on my website at christmaslight.io, so there'll be a ton of information in there. In my Facebook group, I would show you, but my computer is being stupid right now. In my Facebook group, I put a question in there about what are the questions that you get asked. And here's the reason why I'm going to go through and answer each one of these questions and put them on the website. What I would tell you is you need to do the same thing. You need to go through and answer these questions and put it on the website. Because what that will do is that will make you the authority of the Christmas lights. And so this is also will help you rank your website. It will also help your customers get the answers from you, not your competitors. If you help them and you give them information, they're more likely to buy from you. And so that's why it's important that you answer these questions. So if you go to Facebook or christmaslights.io/group, christmaslights.io/group, and if you're not a member, I'll let you in as a member. And what this will, and I just did it yesterday or the day before, and I asked a question of what questions do you get asked. And the reason why I did that is because I had this book in mind. So I'm going to go through and answer a lot of these questions. Now, you can put that on your website, my video on your website, or I would recommend you to make a video about like mine that will help you get that. Again, that is coming from this book here, Endless Customers by Marcus Sheridan. If they ask you answer book, this is the same book, just talks more about videos and different things. And so I'm not just reading it just by the reading it, I'm also listening to it. So I will listen to this thing 2 or 3 times because I feel like it is a very important book that will help you grow your business. How should I pay the high schoolers to put yard signs for me? Don't have time anymore. I have my route. So you pay them either $1 a sign or $2 per sign. I know some people pay them $1 a sign or $2 per sign. And then what you want to do is you want to go to Simple Crew. It's an app on your phone. It costs you $20. It is worth the $20 a month. And when they put a yard sign down, they take a picture. When it takes a picture, it will put a dot on the map where that yard sign is. And you can make sure that they put that yard sign up. Or you can be like my friend that is in my mentorship that decided not to do that because it was going to cost him $20. And he gets one phone call saying that this farmer found all these yard signs in this field that looked like they were just dumped there. And they literally was. And so that's how you control how you make sure that these people are putting out your yard signs. And then you can do a route and say, hey, put them here, here, and here. And in that way, you want to use Simple Crew to make sure that it's getting done. Using that book with my newest hire, a social media creator and manager. We are going to rock it this year. It's a great book. The other thing, too, with you, are you going to hire a videographer, or is that person going to be the videographer? That would be the other thing. Is that book for service businesses? Yes, 100%. He uses this book, and he talks about his pool company. His pool company does, I don't even know how much per year, but he owns a pool company in Virginia, and that's the pool company that he owns is through Virginia. So that is how that book works. So that's where that book works at. So if you want to know more, if you join King of Pressure Wash or King this here tomorrow night, we've been going through about 2 or 3 chapters at a time, and I've been going through it so that way you can make sure that you got that. Yes, she is all about video in the field. Awesome. Yeah, in the field, watching you all, that's what it's all about. All about that. Answer those questions and showing your people, because people like to see that a lot. So with that, I hope to see you all. And this week, again, you know, DJ was kind of slow last week, and then all of a sudden his phone blew up. And I know other people. I had my good friend, I can't think of his name. He's such a good friend, I can't think of his name. My brain fart. What's his name? Rick. My good friend Rick sent me a message this week that he's had $21,000 weeks, $25,000 weeks, and that is pretty awesome. his website's doing well. He's doing yard signs, doing $25,000 a week. That is freaking amazing. It is definitely something that you can do too. It's just a matter of you getting out there and going after it. So with that, I hope that this week is great for you to answer those phones. May is always good. June is usually pretty good for pressure washing. I know this year's season was kind of slow to start. That is because it has rained and rained and rained and more rain. And so with the rain, it usually doesn't do as good. So that's just the way it is. But that's the way it is every year if it rains a lot. But go out there, get your customers, do your customer journey, get your reviews, do the 5 rounds, get your referrals, and this is how you're going to grow your business. And with it, hopefully you'll have a great week, and we'll see you all later.